and once I see all these changes happening, it's so rewarding in a way that it just makes my heart sing with happiness. That is the most crucial thing to me as the wilderness guide.
Hey, this is Elizabeth, and this coming interview is a recording that I did already almost 8 years ago in 2018, I think, of a wilderness guide from South Africa called Sicelo Mbatha. And I only recently remembered again that I had that video and I haven't fully published it, and it was like small bits and pieces published, but not the whole thing. And so even though it's a bit old, it's still true, and I still think that it's a beautiful story that he's telling, and so I thought I'd share that with you, and hope you enjoy it. So how did you grow up? Where was it kind of where you come from in a way?
Yeah, I'm coming from South Africa, in a province called KwaZulu-Natal. I'm more on the northern part of KwaZulu-Natal, in a village called Hlambanyati, of which it means a breeding head of buffalo. I was born there, bred there, and I finished all my matric there, all my school levels there. It's a small village, but it's such a beautiful village because it's just got this kind of family kind of energy where everybody is helping each other to contribute, to help the others and support the other community members as people, and there's always this nice collaboration and cooperation and respect and harmony that is there. There's such an amazing energy that is in a community. Yes.
And what was your connection to nature when you were a little kid?
I grew up there in the rural area, and from an early stage, I was introduced in the duties of being a boy. So that will be going out with goat and take the goats into grazing pasture, and then I got promoted to cows. Then I was a head boy. Then from the head boy, then I got promoted to another kind of like supervising goats and the boys from the cows section together to make sure that the cows are coming back safe. They're coming back on time for milking those that are supposed to be milked, and they go back to the river for drinking and all those kind of duties as well. And it's more for the community structure. It's not that I was only focused on the cows that belongs to my family, for the whole community, and that is actually help the people or the person to develop that leadership skills, but also to taking care of the other people as well, and to take care of something that doesn't belong to you, but you protect it. And that actually exposed me more to be more in nature, because we always out, we eat wild fruits, and we swim in the river, or sometimes we go searching for the nest, trying to get the egg beds as well. And you grow up with all these activities. But I grew up strange because I used to love sunset when I was growing up. So sunset and the sunrise, and again the stars as well. I used to like that. So I would say growing in nature, or the contact with nature, it was something that I actually received it from the early stage when I was in the village. Yeah.
So you went to school and also cared for the goats and the cows and stuff all at the same time. You were always busy.
Yes. It's not that busy, but we did not consider it as a work, in fact. So we go to school, we walk 14 kilometers to school, 14 kilometers back, but it does not mean that if you see the goats away from the village or away from the homestead, you must not come along with the goats from school. So you make your duties very easy for yourself. So we bring the goats from on the way back to school, and then we'll go collect the goats, come a little bit slowly towards the homestead. That is another way. Or sometimes if we don't find them on the way back, then you eat, then you take your sticks and then you go into the grazing fields. You know where you normally find your goats or where you normally find your cows. And then those are the duties of being a young man, like doing things around, the plowing and all those things. So yeah, it happened like that. And there was always almost time, because the focus was to go find these livestock and you come back. That is your duty, make sure they're all in a crop. If you don't do that, then hyenas and lions and they will eat, jackal will eat your so it's and your parents then starting to be angry with you. So those are the things. It's more like protecting actually, and supporting the other members of the community. Yeah.
Okay, so what was kind of your way then after school? You decided to
after school. I won't say my father planted this seed, but he had his contribution as well. So when I was growing up, I've never visualized myself working at the factory or at the office. But what was in my soul was to be a park manager, where you actually manage the game reserve. But I had kind of like a narrow vision with it, because I was more like focusing on to, wow, if you're a park manager, you look cool, and you've got a pistol, and you've got handcuff, you've got pepper spray, wear bulletproof, you drive a big 4x4, sunglasses. So and I kind of like go towards the channel in a way that I ended up becoming a volunteer into the park, because my family couldn't support me to go to the varsity. There was not enough money for me to study. So I ended up going through the path of being a volunteer in the park, of which it created such an amazing opportunity, because amongst my duties as a volunteer, I was doing more like a lion call-up, where we take the samples, blood samples, and putting the collar in the lions. And we do like a black rhino monitoring, where we go close range with the black rhinos, and we take notches and all those things. We do alien control as well, to remove all these plants that are not actually belonging into the wilderness and invasive. But the other duties that I didn't like was when we go in terms of law enforcement, where you go out and you find poachers, you arrest them, and you throw them in jail. I think that part made me realize the softness in me, that I cannot only focus on law enforcement, but also there is a kind of like this softness that I just don't want to see other people suffering, because most of them, when they're in the park, they're hunting meat to feed their family. So that was also touched me deeply in a way that I said, okay, that is fine, then I like to be in nature, but how would I move away without the sight of law enforcement? Then Wilderness Guide came into my soul. That is when I started focusing more into being a wilderness guide and doing the training of becoming the wilderness guide, of which it was not that intense. It was beautiful, because I was already in nature for almost 3 years as a volunteer. So being a wilderness guide was to more implementing more like about the scientific knowledge of being in nature and the bush. So sometimes you get people that like flowers, so you need to know the flowers, obvious, the animal behavior, grass, birds, tracks, and then looking at the wilderness as a place of how it can help to heal the soul of the people. that is when I like to focus more, not using the wilderness as like consuming what the wilderness is providing, but using the wilderness as the medicine to heal the people, to restore the people's souls, because the life has been destroying our soul, and and it's been so sad that we are not even acknowledged, that we are not even aware of that our soul has been killed long time ago, because we slowly adapting the culture of go and get, and this chasing culture make us to drift away from our own self and not be able to find the opportunity to explore where are we standing, who we are as humans, what is the focus, what is the main purpose of our life, and what beautiful thing you can create for your surrounding and for the community, for the earth. We're no longer looking at that. If we look at it, those that are still looking at it are the luckiest one, but we are now coming from the culture of consuming, eat more, take more, do more, you can achieve more, you can do more, you can do always, we do more, but we are not doing more for our soul. And that is how I like to use the wilderness as a kind of like a reminder of go back to our soul. Let's do more for our soul rather than take more from the earth. You understand that point?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is when I started guiding, and that is how I'm focused on it. And amongst that, then I do the rite of passage for the young adult in the village. In Africa, there's empty stomachs, but people are happy. But there's a lot of empty stomach, and when there's empty stomach, people ending up hopeless, and then they focus on drugs, crime, they become abusive, they do a lot of crazy stuff actually, and I do the rite of passage with an aim of restoring that hope and nourish that hope. But how do I do it? So it's a 3 night, 4 days where I take the young adult into the wilderness, deep into the wilderness, and there's fasting and no talk for the whole day. So it's only one day that we don't eat, and that we drink water, not eat. But then we also have a fasting.
But you're together, or is everyone separate?
No, we're all together because it's more for protection. Remember, there's lions and rhinos in the park. Yeah. And this day is like actually trying to break the ice and exploring and starting to learn to listen to your inner voice and open the door for your inner voice and embrace it and listen to it, pay attention to it. There's a side that they don't like in the side of not eating, because there's always no food to eat. So, so I implement it wisely in how maybe sometimes I would say we will only have one lunch and then the supper, but from the early morning until lunch, no food, no talking. And that is good, because at the end of the day, then they said, oh wow, it was beautiful, because I have to search about myself. It was an opportunity to explore myself, where I am, what is the purpose of my life, when am I resigning from this abusive relationship, when am I resigning from this crime, why I'm so harmful to other people. And then we talk about those things. And then after that, you can feed the main soul, but also you need to feed the stomach. And then we have the program where the young adults are working in a garden. It's their own vegetable garden, and then they sell the product to the community in a cheap, reasonable prices. And then they circulate this money amongst them, and the rest is actually maintaining the garden. So now they're all active and doing some other stuff, and then other projects as well happening. But more the rite of passage is more about restoring the hope of the young adult. Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yes,
So the whole idea also when you told me about Ubuntu, that's kind of taking care of your own soul and body to be
Yes.
able to give to the community as well, right?
that is very perfect. But Ubuntu is going more into a lot of segments. It has got layers after layers, layers after layers, layers after layers. But once as you can put it like that in a short summary, it's more about taking care of yourself and the others, living in harmony with respect with your surrounding, with your elders, and with unborn people or unborn children. So then we can be able to break it and get like the ethics and the values and the pillars. It can take us the whole day. But it's and when we look at those values and the ethics and the pillars and all these things, it's not just a one thing, but it's like a tree with lot of leaves, with lot of branches as well.
Yeah.
So of which it's good because if everybody's contributing on that, everybody's also benefiting from it. Yeah, so it's like that. And again, when the youngsters are working and they start spreading this, selling these vegetable gardens as well to the others, and with some other people they cannot even afford, and they say, oh, you just take it. And it's helping without expecting in return, You're just bringing life without saying, you expecting anything in return. So that is it. But when we get time, we can break it into like long layers.
We have time on the weekend.
Yeah.
So I was wondering what was kind of the most your experience with nature when you are outside. What was that moment that was touching you the most, or one touching moment when you were in nature?
It's when I take people into the wilderness and they're consumed by fear, and they're scared to sit down because there's ticks. They're scared to go behind the bushes because there may be a lion. They're scared to go down by the river to drink the water because there might be crocodile or the water is not safe. They're scared to sleep. They're scared of everything. And for me, that is not that they're scared. It's a transformation. They're scared of transformation. And when this transformation happening in them, it's petrified them. They're consumed by this kind of fear. And once they go through the transformation and you can see them starting to sit down, starting to close their eyes, and starting to go down by the river and walk by the river on the bare feet. And once I see all these changes happening, it's so rewarding in a way that it just makes my heart sing with happiness. That is the most crucial thing to me, as the wilderness guide, as also the facilitator, to see the whole transformation happening in me. It's like it's like a baker trying to kind of like putting together the water and the flour, and all of a sudden, and slowly putting it in the oven, and slowly the bread is ready, and people are starting feeding from the bread. So it's so therapeutic. It brings this kind of joy when I see people starting to get more connected and loving it and getting more time to explore themselves, and such rewarding feeling.
So what is your mission for your life?
It's to make people aware that we all have our inner voices. And let us be aware of those inner voices. We are no longer listening to our inner voices. We do because there's a schedule to do things. And we do because there's deadlines, there's appointments, there's this. We're slaves of life. And let us be aware that we've been caged. And we are actually creating this pressure ourselves, like we must do something. Let's do something. And we don't have a time to listen to these inner voices that is inside us. And my biggest mission is to help people to listen to their voices.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed this interview, and if you want to know more about Sicelo and his life, he also wrote a book about his journey that is out. It's called Black Lion Alive in the Wilderness, and I'm gonna put all the links to his website and his tours and the book and everything in the comments below. And yeah, I really can highly recommend you going there and doing one of his tours. By now I already went there as well and was allowed to connect to the South African wilderness. And yeah, it's just breathtaking and just simply beautiful. Yeah, so let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this interview and if you're interested in hearing more about him or other people like him that I do a few more videos. And yeah, I'd just like to hear what you thought about that or read about it in the comments. Thank you so much and hope to see you soon.